I mean, there's been so much talk about the security. We need to talk about it because tonight there'll be no flights over Paris. There's 45,000 police officers. That's throughout the games. Add to that 18,000 soldiers, 2,500 private security agents. They have the numbers for you. And of course, you've also got 100 divers who are going through the River Seine to check whether there aren't any mines. I mean, that is going to create some sort of climate of fear, Doug.
Look, I mean...
Or is it reassurance?
Well, it's both. But, I mean, they've pulled out all stops because, as we've said, it was an audacious idea. The first time, right, it's being held outside a stadium along a 6-kilometer, trajectory here. And in these boats for a 4-hour ceremony, there's a lot to secure. I mean, they're expecting, upwards of 330,000 spectators in sort of that inner gray zone, right? And so we're not just talking about the upper banks above the Seine, which are a little further removed, right? On the lower banks, we're going to have the more high VIP priority seating, which is about 100,000 people. Think of all of the vantage points you have 94 boats going down the Seine, right? You have some 200 delegations, almost 200 countries represented. There are a lot of, not to be glib here, but opportunities for someone who doesn't have the best interest of these Olympics in mind. The bottom line is it is impossible to secure an outside event of this nature, in such a compact city, which has the Seine as its centerpiece, going past all of these world-known iconic monuments. You can't really do it. But these numbers are, as you said, meant to show that they are pulling out all stops. They are doing their utmost, bringing in police forces from everywhere. I saw NYPD, New York police, on the streets. I mean, literally, they are bringing them alongside South Korean police. I don't think there's ever been an event in Paris where you've had such a mix of international law enforcement officers all at once. Look, bottom line, it's impossible to seal airtight Paris, a city of this kind, on two banks divided by a large river. Can't do it. But this is definitely perhaps the most you can do. I mean, I've been walking around the streets of Paris in the past week. Like Francois, I don't have that golden pass either. You cannot. You cannot get past those metal barriers, those barricades. Doesn't matter. That press pass, my press pass is basically nothing.
Yeah, and you've got to have so many to be able to get
They
through.
snicker at it, yeah.
Is this something, James, that can kind of just bother the athletes in a way? I mean, I know they're in their village, but there's just about accessibility and all. Is that going to get into their heads a little bit? No?
No,
You're just
not
fully
for 1
focusing
second.
on
The athletes don't care. They are in the village and that venue, and with their competitors and with their teammates, they're not even thinking about it. They're not thinking about the security risks. They're not thinking about the politics. They're not thinking about tourism. They're not thinking about finance. No, it won't even register for 1 millisecond. They are just thrilled for the biggest sporting moment in their life.
And James, if I may, just when I look at those numbers on your screen there, doesn't jump out to me as strange. I mean, there's a marked trend with the Olympics that local and national police forces essentially use the games like their own private cash machine to get all the special weapons and laws that would be very difficult to get during normal political times. The question for me is what happens when the games end? They got AI-powered video surveillance special for the games, and it's supposed to sunset in March 2025. But it doesn't take the imagination of an avant-garde poet to conjure scenarios by which the police tell us we thwarted this attack and that attack, therefore we really need to keep this AI-powered video surveillance. And this isn't just a kind of neat little technology. There are a lot of false positives. So one legacy of the Olympics, should they decide to keep this AI-powered video surveillance, which isn't that great on race yet in terms of its calculations, you could have in your wake a heavily racialized technology that is left and becomes the new normality. And I say that as someone from the United States that already has a pretty serious racialized policing problem.
Yeah.